Hey everyone, and welcome back to my Completionist playthrough of the Baldur's Gate Saga with SCS and Ascension. And in this episode we're going to have plenty of action. As a matter of fact, it's going to be all action, because we're going to check out this globe dispensing machine over here, and there's a lot of fighting involved in that. Yes. But first let me just showcase that I have prepared Kirinai with a lot of different items for the upcoming fights, and also dropped these normal throne daggers for now. We're not going to need them for what we're going to do in this episode. And also, before we really go up to that device and check it out, let me just quickly go back to our pocket plane to fetch our golem summoning manual that I, of course, forgot to pick up once we crafted it. And unfortunately, we have switched our old trusty friend, Fleshy, for a newer model, the Claymation Man. But it's okay, he's going to serve us well. And that's why I went back for that golem manual already, because our Claymation Man is going to be an integral part of one of our strategies. Anyway, let's just heal up a little bit here, and I think it's going to be best to first check out the game's description of this whole vending machine. Built into the floor is a strange machine with 4 large colored buttons. An inscription reads, "Those who serve must be worthy in mind, heart, and spirit. Only the worthy may unlock the final seal." A scroll lies beside the inscription. The scroll seems to have been written by a scholar who was researching the machine's purpose. You skim down to the conclusion. It would seem that the purpose of this machine is to dispense glass globes of 4 colors. The globes have 2 purposes. Firstly, some of the globes contain magical liquids which can be used as potions of varying degrees of power. Other globes have no practical use and are probably meant to be placed in the containers that match their color. The intelligent thing to do would be to get all of the globes that one can, and then place the ones that are of no use into the colored containers to obtain the prize. The globes that cannot be used are always the last ones dispensed. The problem is, every time a globe is dispensed, something nasty appears, I guess. And yeah, now we have this red, blue, green, and purple button to get these globes. And now there's a couple of things that we need to mention here. It's not entirely true, for example, that the empty ones are the last ones dispensed. And that I think was the case in classic Baldur's Gate 2, but in the enhanced edition the order is different, and they are dispensed based on their item file. And the empty globes are not always the 4th ones. Actually, I think only once. In the red line of fights, the empty globe is going to be the last. But anyway. So yeah, we have the 3 usable globes that can act as potions, and 1 empty one. And there's a variety of effects that these globes are going to present us. They're mostly buffs, but also some damage spells, and I'm going to show all of the effects as we get them, except 2, which I'm going to save for later. And there's no description on those globes, unfortunately, and they all look the same, so there's some experimentation needed. And all of those globes work when it comes to placing them in those respective columns or pillars. So what you can do is just do 1 battle of each, just get 1 globe, place it into their respective pillars, and this whole sequence is going to be finished. But of course, we are going to do all of those fights, and you can press each button 4 times to get an increasingly more difficult encounter from a certain kind of type of creature, I guess. And the red ones are going to be very easy beasties, and it's going to actually work well for the purposes of just showing what this whole thing is about. So let's press the red button. The machine clicks and whirs and produces a red globe which you pick up. Suddenly you hear strange sounds almost beyond your range of hearing. The sounds rapidly get louder as something approaches. It's a pretty cool description. But anyway, I think what we're also going to do for these fights, we might as well give our Ifriti another chance to do something. And yeah, we have received this red globe, and it doesn't really, tell what it does, but we can place it in our quick slot. And in the enhanced edition, these usable ones have the number 1, so it's a little bit easier to recognize them. The empty ones are not going to have anything and are not going to be able to be placed in our quick slot. But anyway, with the red globes, even if you're not familiar with the order they are dispensed in, it's pretty easy to tell. Because of the different targeting. So the first one is a fireball, and it allows us to, target it anywhere on the ground. Then the second one is going to be a heal, which is only going to allow targeting particular people. So the cursor is only going to light up when you target someone, and that indicates that that's the heal. And the third one is kind of like a saving throw bonus for everyone, and that doesn't allow any targeting at all. So even if you do not keep track as you get these globes, you can kind of recognize them from their targeting cursor. But unfortunately, when it comes to the other colored globes, it's usually the cursor just lights up when it comes to targeting particular people. You have to target a single creature, I guess, for the effect to occur, even if it's not really corresponding to how the spell normally works associated with the globe. You'll see what I mean as we go through this whole sequence. And yeah, this first fight is going to be just a couple of hobgoblins. They're extremely easy, and we can just use that fireball on them already. Alright, here's our Ifriti. And let's just go fight them. You can maybe cast some magic missiles. And don't do anything else, really. We're going to save your services for this next fight, because there are going to be some creatures that really, really like their fire damage. They are vulnerable to it. I think we're going to place Kirna over there. And this equipment of these hobgoblins is going to clutter the ground a little bit, but anyway, let's go for another one. Oh yeah, and of course we get experience for every press of the button, plus for the creatures. So, you know, doing, of course, all of the fights is very beneficial in terms of getting experience. Anyway, and this one, this globe, as you can see, it only allows us to target single people, and I am going to save it for later, because this globe works kind of like a potion that you can use either on yourself or on someone else, and it heals for 64 HP, so a pretty potent one. So we're going to use it a little bit later. And now let's just check out this fight. So yeah, we have some Kuo-toa. If you remember, they basically have an innate true seeing ability. They can stun with their bolts, which we're not really concerned about too much in such an easy encounter here. I'm not going to prepare specifically for it, but they are also vulnerable to fire, and that's why we are going to use our Aganazar's Scorchers against them, and we might also throw in a fireball from our Ifriti, because they like them so much. Greater Command on Jaheira, we might get disabled by that, because of course Jaheira, Animan, and Kirinai lost their chaotic commands in that Perseverance trial. Let's actually go up there and kill some people. Use some ranged weapons here, perhaps, and we're always going to give the Ifriti something to do, just so it doesn't cast spells out of his own volition, I guess, and pick something that we don't want to really use at a given moment. And sometimes the AI of these summons is still not that great, and it's actually worked to our benefit, because this mage, of course, is protected by Marnir Globe, and we can actually use a Flame Strike on him. And I guess we can use Flame Strike from Jaheira as well. Alright, not needed. Wow, that was some good damage, Ifriti. Look at that Flame Strike. With no saving throw made, that actually did some work. Oh, he actually managed to summon a puny skeletal warrior. Let's have a flame arrow here. Too late. Alright, cool. So some Kuo-toa, and you know what that means? More Kuo-toa bolts, as if we don't have enough of them already. I'm not going to... Oh yes! A spell shield scroll. Very, very, very nice. So cool! These spell shield scrolls are so rare. I always get so happy when we get access to one of them. Anyway, the next encounter is also going to be pretty easy. It's going to involve trolls, and now this globe that we're going to receive is a saving throw bonus for everyone. So when we use it, it doesn't even give us any targeting cursor, and basically it just increases the saving throws of everyone for just 2 minutes. So it's not really useful to really save it for any other encounter. Let's just use it here and basically showcase its effects. Yeah, there's going to be a Spectral Troll, a Spirit Troll, starting out invisible, and 2 Giant Trolls. We're basically going to be able to insta-kill, like, I think 3 out of the 4. Just the Spirit Troll is going to be immune to our Chrome Fair. But anyway, let's just maybe throw them a little fireball to soften them up.
I am ready. It is done.
Alright, here we can go for the Spirit Troll. And yeah, as you can see, our saving throws were increased by 1, and that just lasts for 2 minutes. Yeah, we get this good luck property here. Alright, so let the slaughter commence. Alright, here's that spirit troll. We're going to prioritize him, except Senashira. She's going to do some instant killing. Of course, we love those spirit trolls and their invisibility stuff. Alright, he died. Cool. And now the last encounter is going to be pretty easy as well. Why can't I... Oh yeah, he got disabled by likely a greater command coming from the spirit troll. Yeah, greater command was cast on Jaheira and this Ifriti got affected by it. No matter. And now we're going to get the last red globe, and as you can see, this one doesn't have the little number 1, indicating that it has 1 use, and this one, of course, is not usable in our quick slot. So we got this empty globe here last, but it's not going to be the case when it comes to the other colors. And here we're just going to have a couple of greater wolf wares. Just physical damage is going to suffice. Yeah, this red line of fights is very easy. Nothing really special involved there, but it's going to get more interesting when it comes to other colors. Do we have anything to loot here? Alright, not much, just a lot of clutter. And here I think before we go... Well, actually it would have been nice to have access to another fireball with that Ifriti, but it doesn't matter. I think the next line of fights we're going to do are going to be the green ones, just because I want to get it over with. Because the last encounter from green is going to involve beholders, and you know my love for beholders. Let's just get this over with. Anyway, the first globe from green is the empty one, so we're not going to be able to use it for anything. And it's just going to summon some mutated spiders that can poison for a little bit, but it's not going to be that big of a deal. Let's actually have Kirinai do range damage, and her strength was drained a little bit by the spectral or the spirit troll. But she still has 21, so she's going to be able to perform well. Alright, Servok leveled up off of that. Let's actually check out his level up then. More hit points, of course, and I think we're going to give him 1 more greater whirlwind. So he's going to have 1 normal, 2 greater, he has 2 hardiness. We're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere with our boy Servok here. Anyway, the next fight is going to involve Umber Hulks, so let's just quickly dispense some anti-confusion equipment. Alright, like the equalizer here. And I guess Lilarkor we could give someone, but you know, just going to have Senashira solo the whole thing, I think. Because I just cannot be bothered all that much to... Oh yeah, of course Saravok still has chaotic commands. Oh yeah, and Senashira has chaotic commands, so... What am I even doing? Let's have Kirinai with the equalizer. And we might get this Shield of Harmony to Jaheira, so she is protected. Yeah. A bit absent-minded, it seems. Anyway, this globe here that we got, it's kind of like a melee range level 2 Melf's Acid Arrow, so it's not going to take for much damage, but we might as well use them. Use it on one of these Umber Hulks. Yeah, boom, take that. Yeah, fighting with a single weapon there. Alright. Now, the next fight is still going to be pretty easy. It's going to involve some earth elementals. And this globe just gives a +5 magic resistance bonus for 1 minute. So it's also not really useful to really save it for something. If you're really hardcore about stacking magic resistance on someone, then yeah, maybe, you know, you could save it for something, because a minute, you know, it's going to last for a decent chunk of a fight, or depending, of course, on the fight, it might last you throughout the whole thing, but you know, it's not really that big of a deal. So I'm just going to use it here. We can get this equalizer back, and everyone is equipped as they should be. Alright, and here of course we can involve everyone.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't even get any message here, but yeah, Senashir now has 25 magic resistance. Normally she has 20.
Certainly.
Anyway, another simple kind of physical fight, but now we're going to have a very special tactic prepared, because the final fight from the green globes involves 3 beholders, and not just any beholders, but a Hive Mother, an Elder Orb, and a Death Tyrant. So, of course, the Elder Orb being a high-level spellcaster with 50 magic resistance, and 10 physical, and I think 10 elemental to everything. Then the Hive Mother is kind of like a melee-oriented beholder a little bit, that has 200 hit points, 75 magic resistance, and elemental resistance, and also 50 physical. And then the Death Tyrant is kind of like a higher level beholder, pretty standard one, but notable thing about the Death Tyrant is that they are immune to poison. But anyway, we are going to have a special tactic prepared in mind, and we're going to have to evacuate from this room. And we're just going to do this in a pretty clean way. I would like to do it. Also, the Hive Mother can drain charges from items, so we are actually going to drop everything that Saravok has with charges, because we are going to use Saravok for the initial part of the encounter. We're going to give him 2 potions of magic protection, just so that he has 100 magic resistance. And you know, that of course is going to make him immune to everything that the beholders can do to him. However, this is dispellable by their anti-magic ray, but it doesn't matter. It's just for him to activate the machine and basically get out of there. And even if he gets affected by that anti-magic ray, for 1 round he is going to be 100% resistant to magic anyway. So this is only for the initial stage of the encounter, because you know, the lengths I'm going to go to give these beholders a fair fight is just something that they completely do not deserve at all. But basically the thing is, I want to showcase something with stopping time. And basically if we set a time stop trap by Kirinai on their spawn point, which is of course a tactic that you can do with all of these fights. You can just trap the hell out of their spawn points and just blow them up as soon as they appear. But of course we're not going to do anything like that. But I would like to showcase a time stop trap on the Kirinai. However, if we place it on their spawn point, it is going to stop time immediately as they spawn, and not all of their pre-buffs are going to trigger correctly. And I do want them to trigger correctly, so that then we can just kill them in the proper way as we intend to. And yeah, also when it comes to these fights, I should rest before these now, because the fights that are left, some of them are going to be pretty tough, and it would be really nice to rework our spells for our spell selection to fit better for those upcoming fights. But I'm not going to do it, and I think it's going to make things more interesting, and it's also going to make us have to use some of our resources. And this is also something that I can't believe that I'm going to do, but we are going to use one of our time stop scrolls here, one of our 2 precious time stop scrolls. I don't even know what I'm doing, you know, just wasting such precious resources on beholders is just painful. But anyway, let us just prepare some equipment here. Alright, you're not going to have any more use for that. I think you have your Karsamir. Yeah, we're going to switch Kirinai to this improved Cloak of Protection. We have 1 more improved haste available from it, and we are going to use it here. But first, let's summon some Skeleton Warriors. These Skeleton Warriors coming from Animen last for a very long time, and they have 90% magic resistance, so they are going to be very nice against the beholders. Alright, and we're just going to have them, just the 2 of them for now. And what else do we need to do? I think this is basically it. I think we're going to have to start out with Karsamir. And I think we're ready, really. So, Saravok, fetch our globe for us here. And this final globe is actually going to allow us to summon a shambling mound with just 96 HP, no resistances, 1 attack per round, kind of just a cannon fodder distraction type of summon that we are going to use it after the fight with the beholders, I think. Just like I said, we're just going to keep using all of these globes as they kind of come up. But anyway, let's do this. Let's press the green button. Now let's buff up with that improved haste. And Sarvok is going to already start retreating. Alright, so here their pre-buffs triggered correctly. Of course, the Elder Orb not protected against fire in this pre-buff selection that it got. So we could use some Firestorms on it, because Firestorms would bypass its fire resistance, and it doesn't have any magic resistance. Firestorms bypass, and it doesn't have any fire resistance, it seems. But I'm not sure if this is even going to be necessary. Yeah, an anti-magic ray is targeted on Sarvok, which is going to dispel his 100 magic resistance coming from the potions, but for 1 round he's going to get that immunity to magic coming from the anti-magic ray. So we can just have this time to have him retreat. Our skeleton warriors are going to serve as a distraction for now. And yeah, Kirinai needs to buff up with her improved haste. And now she has it. And now we're going to give her this scroll of time stop. Remove magic was even cast on Sarvok. Yeah, our summons are fighting the good fight over there for a moment. Alright, now Kirinai has improved haste. So we're going to start with Karsamir, because that Hive Mother has improved mantle, which we will be able to dispel, and it also might have cast Stone Skin, as it usually does. But anyway, we're going to be able to dispel its protections, and then just take it out during this time stop. And this is also going to showcase why I don't use time stops on Seneshira, because, you know, she would be able to do such a thing basically every fight. You know, just imagine if we had memorized like 3 time stops on Seneshira. She would be able to just, you know, destroy opponents while they cannot do anything about it. They cannot react. But here, you know, of course, for beholders we have no mercy anyway, and I just want to remove this Hive Mother, because she is the only type of... Hive Mother is the only type of from all of the beholders that actually sees invisible, and once she is removed, we are just going to be able to sit while invisible with Kirinai and kind of manage our summons that are going to do the fight for us. So anyway, let's just dispel its protections, and now we can switch to our normal damage dealing setup and just go to town on this Hive Mother and just remove her from the picture. Also, time stop here is better than a time stop trap. I don't think the 10 seconds of the time stop trap would give us enough time to actually burn through this Hive Mother's HP, because it has 200 HP and 50 physical resistance, so it is going to take some punishment, and I think time stop is kind of needed here. And yeah, basically when it comes to time stop, there are only a few select opponents in the whole game that are immune to time stop, and even against some of them it's beneficial sometimes to cast time stop, because it's still going to stop time for everyone else, and just, you know, your time stop caster and that opponent are going to be able to act. Basically, you know, them being immune to your time stop means that they can still act in your time stop. But anyway, so the Hive Mother is down, very nice, and we might do like 2 attacks here. 3 maybe on this Death Tyrant, and then go invisible. Alright, and remove Kirinai kind of from this picture. We can start detecting traps just in case, because the Elder Orb can have Shadow Door, and sometimes the spell trigger that it has, in most cases it contains triple lower resistance, but sometimes they have mislead and stuff. Yeah, here's the Shadow Door. We can just finish off that Death Tyrant, and now we're going to summon our Clay Golem. I'm only summoning the Clay Golem now because it's a pretty short-lasting summon, so I didn't want its time here basically ticking down as the time stop was in effect. And we are also going to summon this Hackashar for ourselves, Hackashar also have 100 magic resistance, and they are going to be very nice against the Elder Orb because Nishru and Hackashar have a non-magical attack that deals 0 damage, but it's still going to be able to hit the Elder Orb through its protections from magical weapons, and drain its spells, and also cut through its stone skins. Because even though these Hackashar and Nishru attacks do 0 damage, they still count as hits, and they still are going to absorb stone skins and be able to like cut through them, which is something that we're going to have to do here. Alright, come Claymation Man. The Claymation Man also is going to be very important here because we cannot use any of his spells and abilities here. It doesn't have it, but in his AI script, he does use that Golem Slow from time to time. So he is, Golem Haste, excuse me, and he is going to be able to haste our summon army here. So this is going to be beneficial. We're just going to allow him to attack, and left to his own devices, he is going to cast that soon. And yeah, now we can have Hackashar. Alright, unfortunately this triple lower resistance was used against one of our skeleton warriors, and that means that he's going to die soon. His whole magic resistance was drained, and we are counting on these skeleton warriors mostly when it comes to dealing damage. Once the Elder Orb is out of its protections from magical weapons, the skeleton warriors are going to be our main damaging force, because the golem is going to disappear soon, and the Hackashar can't deal any damage. So yeah, now that the skeleton warrior is vulnerable, it's going to be vulnerable to all the rays and the spells of the Elder Orb, and yeah, we have that Golem Haste coming from the Clay Golem. Thank you. Thank you, Clay Golem. Now all our summons are a little bit more effective. Yeah, this skeleton warrior now is also going to, of course, be susceptible to that web. Yeah, contingency with protection from magical weapons triggers. That means our skeleton warriors and the Clay Golem are not going to be able to do anything, but the Hackashar can still deal some damage. I mean, not damage exactly, but deal some hits. And cut through the stone skins of this Elder Orb. And yeah, of course, a protection from magical weapons means that it's immune for 4 rounds to our Clay Golem's attacks, so that's a significant part of his existence here with us, unfortunately. But I think it expired just now. Yeah, we're not getting any weapon ineffective messages. Yeah, also the Clay Golem managed to place that curse, blocking direct healing, but of course Elder Orbs don't have any, so doesn't really matter. But yeah, now we're just trying to cut through its stone skins. And now we're getting to it. And it should be over soon. Oh yeah, now our skeleton warriors are going to town on this Elder Orb. Come on, boys. Yes. Very good job. Very nice. So, something a little bit different this time. Fighting the beholders. Alright, now I think we are going to do also something different. But we're probably going to have to equip Kira and I a little bit differently now. Now, did I drop her methods harp, or okay, Senesher has that. I was kind of thinking what I did with it. Also, we're not going to use this green globe just yet, because I think we're going to do the blue fights now, and for the blue fights I have a special plan. Can do that, and I think we have some spirit armor scrolls somewhere. Should have. Oh yeah, probably Kiranai has those. Although I might have sold them. But it doesn't matter. We're going to then use the potions of invulnerability. Basically what I wanted to take advantage of there. Oh yeah, Saravok is far away from everybody. I wanted to take advantage of the fact that spirit armor Also gives the target a boost to their save versus spell. And that would be really useful for Kirinai in what's about to happen. Also, improved invisibility does the same thing, but I don't want to have improved invisibility or use stealth at the beginning of these encounters, also for the purposes of our opponents properly getting their pre-buffs. And if you're invisible when they spawn, they're not going to get all of them correctly. Only once you reveal yourself, they're going to get their pre-buffs. Anyway, you are prepared with everything you need, really. Actually, going to switch to that. You have your wands and stuff. And now you just need those potions. You can start by drinking one. And I think that's going to be it for now. We still have our improved haste, which is nice. Now we're going to do the blue line of fights. And this one involves only fighting mages. There's always going to be a mage, and they are going to increase in levels and therefore in difficulty. So the first one is going to be level 14, then the next one is going to be 16, the third one is going to be 18, and the final one is level 20. So I thought about perhaps summoning all of them at once and then fighting them all at once, but that would be basically the same thing we've done against the Cald Wizards, and now of course we have plenty of different AoE tools to deal with a group of mages just like that, so it wouldn't actually contribute much to an increase in difficulty. So what I thought we could do here with this line of fights is basically showcase the potential of a fighter mage with use any item, and basically how such a character can use all of the different situational items and scrolls to their advantage, and basically have some solo kind of one-on-one duels that Kirinai is going to be able to do for us. Because she is always the number 2, right, after Senashira. It's always Senashira doing all this stuff, and actually, you know, Senashira can take a little bit of a rest here. She's been doing a lot of the work throughout our playthrough, so now let's allow Kirinai to have a moment to shine. And yeah, let's just activate that. The first blue orb gives us a Cone of Cold cast. And I'm actually going to drop that on the ground, because I do want to have some inventory space available in Kirinai. And this level 14 mage, we'll see what she's going to offer. She shouldn't really have anything spectacular. Yeah, just Mantle. We are actually going to be able to just bypass that Mantle with our +4 enchanted Spectral Brand. Of course, we can use our Detect Illusion. But she likely moved somewhere. Alright, over there. Let's equip our Shield of Harmony to make ourselves protected against a variety of effects that she could unleash. Alright, so it's Web, and that's where our saving throws come into play, because now she has a save versus spell of -3, and even though Web has a penalty of -2 for this the saving throw that the targets have to use, she has enough of a saving throw that she is going to always succeed. Because, by the way, this is actually a nice opportunity to talk about the saving throws and how they work, because when it comes to saving throws, if your saving throw is low enough, you are always going to succeed. There is no critical failure or critical success on saving throws. So if you roll a 1, that doesn't mean it's going to fail. And if you roll a 20, that's, you know, yeah, there's no critical failures or successes when it comes to saving throws. So, you know, if a spell with our saving throw of -3, if a spell doesn't involve a serious penalty to the saving throw of the target, we are going to be able to succeed always. And unfortunately, our improved haste just expired. But anyway, we can just... Alright, she has another invisibility. She's actually putting up a little bit of a fight here. Oh, and actually, by accidentally looting, I have interrupted our Detect Illusion, but it's okay. Okay, we didn't manage to interrupt that Finger of Death, apparently, even though we're dealing cold damage. Alright, boom. The first one has been disposed of. Now, for the second one, I think we're also not going to really do anything special. Let's just heal up a bit, and we're just going to go. Oh, just misclicked red, but of course, since we have used red 4 times, nothing happens when we press the red button now. So let's continue with the blue. Alright, let's show us what you got here. Alright, improved mantle. Wow, we already managed to dispel her illusions. Let's actually use Karsamir this time to dispel her improved mantle and her stone skin, and then we're going to be able to go back to our normal weapons now that this has happened. That second blue globe, by the way, we are going to save. Dropped it here, I think. We are going to save for later because it offers us greater restoration. Kind of a useful thing to have, although once we upgrade Hindo's Doom, we're also going to have access to that kind of thing. I'm not going to pick that up. Yeah, this is the one. So let's just quickly give that to Seneshira to hold on to. This is going to be the only, this is going to be the second globe that we're going to hold on to for later. Maybe we're going to get a use out of that, because Greater Restoration is a pretty cool effect. It fully heals you, it removes diseases, poisons, feeble mind, all that kind of stuff, and also level drain, but it fatigues the user. Also, now that we are approaching some other fights, I think we are going to give Kirinai some scrolls. We might use a globe on her, and we might use a spell turning. And also, I would like to have this power word kill available for us. Because all of these mages here, this whole line of blue fights, actually they have below 60 hit points, so they are all vulnerable to power word kill, and perhaps if a good situation here presents itself, when where like one of them is not going to have that many spell protections, we could quickly dispel that with our Rod of Reversal, for example, and then just use the power word kill for a nice kind of unusual kill. We're just going to leave these scrolls on the ground here and go back to fighting with Kirinai. Actually, you know what, just for the quickness of her movement, let's also give her a 1 oil of speed. Alright, now the third blue orb gives us... The third one, I think, is the empty one. Anyway, this mage, of course, is going to be level 18, so a little bit of a tougher situation here, having access to level 9 spells. We're going to see what she's going to be able to offer us. Alright, so she does have protection from magical weapons, has improved invisibility, has a spell shield and spell turning, so I don't think we're going to go for that power word kill already. I think what we're going to do is probably we should just switch to normal weapons, I think, and just kind of try to cut through her stuff. Yeah, I think that's going to be the thing. Let's just tell Kirinai to attack and then activate our Detect Illusion so that she can dispel her improved invisibility and mirror images. We're going to suffer a little bit of fire damage, but on Kirinai we have equipped both of the fire resistance rings, so she has 90 fire resistance, so she's only receiving 1 damage there. Alright, her illusions were dispelled. There's this simulacrum, but of course it's going to be much lower level. I'm not really concerned about it. Alright, it just cast Greater Malison. No big deal for now. There was a remove magic on Kirinai as well, kind of removing our Oil of Speed, but she weren't really... she didn't have any major important buffs, magical buffs on her, so we don't really care about all that much when it comes to that. Most of our protections are going to come from using our different items. Yeah, for example, from Charm Person we can just protect ourselves by using our Shield of Harmony. This is going to protect us against many different effects. Of course, that Dispel, well, I wasn't entirely truthful, I guess, when talking about magical buffs not being important, because of course she had that Potion of Invulnerability, and I think I'm just going to drink another one just to improve our saving throws, especially since we are under the effect of that Greater Malison. Anyway, let's just continue our onslaught here. Alright, another Charm Person. Charm Person is very easy to save against because it gives you a saving throw bonus. And since that mage is casting, let's actually equip ourselves with that Shield of Harmony. Because we don't know what's going to happen there. Symbol Fear, and that actually reminds me that I forgot to have Peridan here in her selection. We have the Sword of Arvorine in case any symbol stuns, but... yeah, I wanted also to have Peridan, just in case. Alright, so she did get mazed, because we didn't have Chaotic Commands, which is basically the only reliable buff for that purpose. But, you know, we're going to just wait it out. Oh, they sense our other party members, I guess. And just moving cautiously. This is actually not in her best interest because her improved mantle is going to expire in the time it takes for Kirinai to get back from her maze. And basically, the amount of time you're stuck in that magical maze depends on your intelligence. And Kirinai doesn't have the highest one, just 11, so she might be stuck there for a while. And they are here already. Well, I wanted to avoid that, but I guess we're just going to kill her if like that. If she wants to die so badly, then alright, be my guest. Alright, now Kirinai is back, and for this final fight we are going to pre-buff a little bit. This Simulacrum should have died, but I guess it was too far away from its master. Alright, there you go. And yeah, now we're going to pre-buff on Kirinai with a little something here. We could also have spell immunity to abjuration, but I don't think I'm going to go for it this time, because we don't have that many of these spell immunities to abjuration left in scroll form for Kirinai. So I think we're just going to go pre-buffed like that. Yeah, here's our empty orb, empty blue orb. And the fourth blue orb is just protection from normal missiles, so we're just going to use it, you know, on someone here, but of course it's not going to be something worth keeping. And yeah, let's just see what happens here.
I just can't carry anymore. You'll pick that up for me, won't you?
Alright, well, let's see what you got. So she also has Spell Shield and Spell Turning. Also immunity to Abjuration. I think we are going to, on this one, perhaps go with a Dispelling strategy here. Oh, went in there too quickly. Alright, Illusion dispelled. Let's now use our Rod of Reversal. Also had this Wand of Spell Striking for Breach, maybe, and yeah, but these mages have just too many spell protections. If they only had a spell trap with no spell shield, for example, I was counting on one of them having such a kind of pre-buff selection. That would lend itself really well for just dispelling their spell trap with our Rod of Reversal and then going in with that power word kill. But now that her illusions are dispelled, we're just going to do quick to these dispels, and actually for that we are going to equip Kirinai with the Sword of Arvorine and the Shield of Harmony. She should be immune to most debilitating effects. Oh, there's a gate. Spicy. That's spicy, what you're doing here. And you know, since that might be a Pit Fiend, this is either going to be a Baldur or a Pit Fiend. Okay, it is a Pit Fiend, so we are going to need Peridan. And Sanashira might not be quick enough, just to be kind of clean in our execution. This of course doesn't really matter, we have good saves, but let's be clean. We're leaving a mess here on the ground, we're littering, but anyway, doesn't matter. We need to... Okay, her illusions were dispelled again, so we just need one more Rod of Reversal hit for that spell turning, and we're going to be able to have a cool kill. Alright, her spell protections were dispelled. Now we're going to use our scroll of power word kill. Let's see what she does. It's kind of not to waste it. She's just summoning another Pit Fiend, I think. That's a Conjuration Orb, and that might be another gate. That's spicy, dude. I like that. I like that out of you. Okay, it's Caco Fiend. Anyway, goodbye. I like killing mages with power word kill. The opportunity to do so is pretty rare, but especially this late in the game, everything has a lot of HP, but these mages have, you know, like I said, below 60. So it's pretty cool. And I think now, before the situation gets out of control, let's just go all out with our physical damage and try to get rid of that that Pit Fiend. And I'm going to continue detecting illusions just to get rid of his improved invisibility. That improves his armor class. Right, and then we have a Bone Fiend, which might do a lot of cold damage to us. Let's actually heal here and kind of be on the move against that Cone of Cold. Alright, we have managed to avoid it. And now let's just, I think, have Peridan in the offhand, because devils have that fear aura that we don't want to be affected by. Wow, we're quite over time because of all this. Of course, we could have defeated all of these mages very quickly and easily if we didn't go for such extravagant tactics and just giving them more of a chance. But yeah, I wanted to do something different. And this is Saravok's equipment that we need to re-equip him with. He has that shambling mound. I think we're going to summon that right away, and yeah, now it's going to be the time to kind of get back to normal with all of our equipment. Let's just kind of re-equip ourselves properly. Saravok can have his rod of reversal. We are not going to have a use for Karsamir anymore. We're not going to use such tactics. And this might go back to Saravok's.
Very well.
Saravok's thing. Actually, these Throne Daggers I'm just going to pick up in between episodes. Let's not waste too much time. Here's one more potion. Alright, here's the empty globe. Yeah, so we have 3 of them. Let's just put them in here, just so that they don't clutter our inventory. But of course not doing the last one there. Even if we get the I think the empty orb from purple comes 3rd, but of course we're not going to want to end the whole sequence before we're done with all of the encounters. And yeah, here we have the two blue ones. So I think this one is going to be the protection. Yeah, protection from normal missiles.
Show me.
Let's have all of our guys here for the first fights. The purple line of fights is against undead.
I await your
I guess let's summon ourselves that shambling mound. Let's just make use of it. Our Cone of Cold, I think in the sequence that we have done here, our Cone of Cold is not going to be that useful in any of these encounters. But anyway, I think, well, this first fight we can do with everybody. The first purple orb is basically a potion of Cloud Giant strength, so 23 strength for 10 minutes or 2 in-game hours. This is something that I think I'm going to use immediately. Maybe Saravok, use it on yourself, my man. And yeah, now the fight. There's just going to be 4 skeleton warriors. Just a kind of a straightforward physical damage fight. But next up we're going to have 4 Devil Shades, and Devil Shades can level drain, and of course we could trivialize all of these encounters against the undead by Anomen's very high level turn undead, but we are not going to use it until the last fight, and just for a moment I think we're going to use it in the last fight. So yeah, Saravok now has 23 strength. for a little while. We have our shambling mound being a distraction. And now when it comes to these devil shades, because they can level drain, we are going to protect ourselves, and we're going to do it a little bit differently. Let's give the Amulet of Power to Kirinai so that she can stay here with us. We're going to use a Rune Hammer on Senashira in her offhand, and Anomen of course has his improved Mace of Disruption, and then we're just going to evacuate the others. Oh yeah, and also what we can do against these undead fights, kind of taking advantage of excuse me, you know, recording these videos, it's a constant battle with my throat. I have a bit of a condition that's just makes it difficult to speak for such like longer periods of time, but I hope you can forgive me the throat clearing thing. Anyway, now we can of course take advantage of Kirinai's high mastery in longswords. Unfortunately not grand mastery yet, but yeah, Daystar is going to be useful. Also, we can take out these gems and we can sell them later.
Yes?
And now that these skeleton warriors died, they also left some clutter.
I can hold no more.
Actually a pretty good Laeral's Tear amulet there. Did I misclick here? Nope. Alright. Let's get a move on here. Alright, here we have our Devil Shades.
What is it? Without hesitation.
Of course, the Devil Shades, upon death, they split into Shadow Fiends that can hold. So now we're going to equip the Shield of Harmony and Arbane's Sword to protect ourselves against that, and I guess we're just going to use the Rune Hammer in Senashir's main hand. Since we have still some Devil Shades, I think, active somewhere. Yeah, we have, I think, one Devil Shade left. But it doesn't really matter, of course, at this point, those are pretty easy opponents. I just want to do these fights clean, kind of give some of our items an opportunity to be useful. Alright, cool. That one is done. Now the next fight is going to involve 4 vampires, 2 elder vampires and 2 ancient ones. So of course they can, these vampires can go invisible, they can backstab, and they have the whole assortment of vampiric abilities.
If it must be done.
Fortunately we cannot close this door, which I would like to, but anyway, I think with the amount of stuff that we have here, and the Deva we are going to summon here. The Deva, I think it's a pretty cool opportunity to use here, because the Deva is kind of like the anti-undead celestial being, wielding that Mace of Disruption herself. So yeah, kind of fitting, and it's going to be useful. And also, the second purple orb is just an invisibility spell. So we are going to use it on Kirinai here to make her invisible, and start out with a backstab. And I think she's just going to de-equip some stuff, and we are going to protect ourselves against the domination of the vampires by equipping some Helms of Charm Protection. I think we're going to have 2 of them here, and we're going to have to get the Equalizer out for Senashira. Anomen is going to have the Helm of Charm Protection, and Kirinai is going to have the same. And we should be good here.
If you say so.
Okay, our Deva is going to protect us against fear. And let's have her activate Globe of Blades. And I think what we also might do is I'm just going to use a quick minor globe of invulnerability on Senashira just to protect her against that cloud of bats, kind of summon insects spell that vampires have, just so that her stone skin doesn't get cut through so easily. Alright, and that's going to be it. Let us proceed. The third purple orb is the empty one, so we're not going to make use of it yet. Let's check it out. What's our situation here? Yeah, 2 ancient, 2 elder vampires. I would like to start with a quick backstab, but they are going to likely turn around, so turn around. Every little vampire wants to level drain you. Anyway, I think we are sufficiently prepared. Let's just start fighting, and we'll see what the positioning of these vampires is going to be. Okay, some rat swarm, doesn't matter. Let's just not misclick and accidentally pick something up from the ground to cancel out our invisibility. I think this ancient vampire is facing to the right. Our shambling mound is getting level drained. Alright, nice. 90 damage backstab. Now we're just going to give her a speed offhand so that she might fight toe to toe. There's that shapeshift bat. Don't do this to me, dude. Let me just quickly inspect this combat log here and see if we had any deaths and who died. Alright, so Animan, Mace of Disruption, destroyed 1 elder vampire. There's just Cloud of Bats. Any other shapeshift bat to make me miserable? Alright, elder vampire shapeshifted into a bat. And an ancient vampire. Alright, so 2 of them, it seems. Oh yeah, Animan is not operational here. I'm not exactly sure what happened to him here. Oh yeah, they have that mesmerize thing, which is kind of like a stun ability, I think. We could use our methods hard then. Well, it's not stun. Of course, he's not stunned. He's moving around. It's kind of like a feeble mind ability that we could remove on him, but doesn't really matter all that much. All right, ancient vampire and elder vampire just died, with that Deva being able to instantly kill an elder vampire. And we should have 1 more. That's here. Fortunately, I think the bat form vampires died. Alright, and now we're done with everybody. Yeah, I forgot these ancient and I think both ancient and elder have that mesmerize ability that chaotic commands normally, of course, works against very well. And you know what? Let's actually... This is as good of an opportunity as any. Let us get our blue globe here out and just do a greater restoration on Animan, but actually Imoen is going to do that because fatigue on her is not going to matter all that much. Alright, now Animan is with us. Now when it comes to this final fight, we are going to have... Who are we going to have with us? We don't need any more... Oh, Senashira can stay with the Equalizer, but we are not going to need to be protected against level drain anymore. So we can switch that out. I think Animan is not going to be using his Mace of Disruption. And we're just going to have Imoen, I think, and we are going to throw in another Remove Fear because Imoen was not present there. I think we're just going to have Jaheira and Sarawak stay out. And of course I clicked somewhere with Imoen and she was not affected by that Remove Fear. So let us continue the spam. Now, when it comes to our protections, I would like to protect Senashira a little bit more. We are going to give her spell turning and spell immunity to abjuration. Imoen is in a nice situation because she still has her spell trap. I'm preparing like that because this is going to be a lich fight, this last one. Animan is actually going to get Shield of the Archons, and we're also going to cast this Limited Wish and give ourselves Minor Globe. You can get your Global Blades. Animan is going to start to the north. And now Kirnai, do we want to just stay with the Shield of Harmony for now? Oh yeah, and equip your amulet. Right, we want to have a repeatable wish and become invulnerable. And now we can just proceed with the final purple fight. This is going to summon 2 liches, an elemental lich, which is level 30, kind of similar to, you know, most of the liches we've been fighting in recent and not so recent times. And there's going to be one low-level lich companion. He's going to be from this line of like really weak liches. I think he's only like level 9 and has access to only up to level 5 spells there and then. But he is going to have, I think, some pretty powerful pre-buffs, but when it comes to his arsenal of spells that he can unleash in the fight, it's not going to be too impressive. Yeah, double lich fight. The elemental lich is down here, and the elemental lich, of course, is going to need to be dispelled and whatnot. I think the Deva we are going to keep in the northern side. I don't want to... I think this lich is going to be immune to instant death anyway, but just to minimize the chance, I don't want the Deva to instantly kill him with her Mace of Disruption. Anyway, this top lich, we're just going to get rid of him by turning undead. This should happen pretty easily, and this lower lich here is going to be a proper arcane fight he's going to give us. Alright, so the normal lich, yeah, even though he is only level 9, he does start out with Chain Contingency with some stuff. Yeah, he has Spell Shield, Immunity to Abjuration, but now let's take a look at the Elemental Lich. So he also has Spell Shield and Spell Trap, and those are going to be his only 2 protections. Alright, so we're going to detect illusions here. Started out with Horrid Wielding, so let's not approach... Well, Kira and I got affected by this lich's Horrid Wielding. They actually both started with some Horrid Wielding. Animan, of course, shrugged off the damage because he has the Belt of Inertial Barrier. But let's quickly dispel the illusions of the lower lich. And yeah, let's kill the top one with our Turn Undead. Alright, Glitter Dust on Kira and I, let's take that out. Yeah, our turn undead already dealt with that other lich. Let's turn it off then. And the Deva, we're just going to tell her to get out of here. Right, he starts out with improved alacrity, but no time stop, so we should be able to just do something about it. Just we need to dispel his illusions. That is not happened yet. Alright, now it did. So, let us direct some ruby rays onto him. A Sphere of Chaos on Kirnai. If she could take that out of here, that would be nice. Yeah, somewhat successfully. Alright, Spell Shield dispelled. Spell Trap dispelled, and now we're going to have Breach coming from Senashira. No need to use any scrolls or wands, charges or anything. Oh, the Deva. You are disobedient. I told you to get out of here. Alright, Breach on the Elemental Lich hit. And now let's just go in there Actually, let's not go in there with Kieran and I. Let's just stay out of that sphere of chaos. And I think if we position ourselves, well, somewhere here, we should be kind of out of range of it. And you know what? Just to be super, super safe, because I don't want to instantly die with Senashira. Do I have a... Yes, we do have an alteration spell immunity. We're going to use that. Pass that over properly. We're going to use that on Senashira. We're going to attack from range, and Skeleton Warrior can go in there. And Animan is just going to... Okay, this is actually good. Gives us some time. He has a contingency with protection from magical weapons. And since the Kirinai's dagger was thrown before he activated that, it still worked. But anyway, another breach is going to go in there. That's perfect. Actually... Okay, it's not perfect. I guess it might have been perfect. His newly applied stone skin might have been dispelled together with his protection from magical weapons. Anyway, we're just waiting on that immunity to alteration. I'm using that because the Sphere of Chaos has some instant death effects that it can bestow upon people standing in it. And spell immunity to alteration protects against that. Alright, and there we go. Of course, I didn't want to instantly die with Senashira after all of our fights here. And yeah, this concludes our fights with this globe vending machine. And the final purple globe is a level 5 mass cure. So it's actually decent to have, but... And it works differently because you kind of have to... You are not, like the user of this potion is not the center of the effect, but you actually target it on someone. So it kind of works a little bit differently. I'm not going to hold on to it. I'm just going to showcase its use. Boom, a little bit of a heal. And yeah, the only thing left to do now is to... This is a Cone of Cold. Well, I'm going to try to use it somewhere here. But yeah, now we can kind of rework our gear a little bit. I'm of course going to rework it in between episodes, not to waste time, but now finally we can place... Let me just double check. Yeah, we have the last purple orb here, which completes the sequence and gives us another key. This one, this time the mind key with the wisdom word inscribed upon it. So now we have 2 out of the 3 keys needed to unlock the final seal. And yeah, the third one we are going to have to obtain in the next episode. And we're going to end this one here. But I hope you enjoyed our long marathon of fights. And I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.